Are you serious? Are you serious, folks? Right now, there is protesting going on in Egypt as 15 million people have signed a petition to remove Mohamed Morsi from the presidency of Egypt. I want to thank Blake Ashcraft for getting this information to me. Cairo, Egypt is bracing for mass nationwide protests this weekend amid deepening divisions that have set neighbor against neighbor and raises fears of unrest. Here's the actual headline of this article. Fears, folks, of unrest in Egypt as masses are protesting, pitting neighbor against neighbor because of Mohamed Morsi. Now, what's so significant about all this? Go to Isaiah 19. And those of you who have been watching me for the last 3 years, you know for the last 2 years I have been preaching to you Isaiah 19 prophecy, verses 1 through 4, 5, and now 6, and it's going to go on. And one of the things the scripture says would happen in the burden of Egypt, and let me read it. The burden of Egypt, there's a lot of things have happened here. A lot of prophecies being fulfilled here. Get this. The burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. We saw that idol over in Manchester, England, moving, the god of death and the god of the Nile. And we know the Nile River is getting ready to be blocked with a dam by Ethiopia. There's so many prophecies here. But get this. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, and everyone against city, and kingdom against kingdom, neighbor against neighbor, brother against brother, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. And here's the headlines in today's news. Fears of unrest in Egypt as mass protests pit neighbor against neighbor. The organizers for the June 30th demonstrations, which is coming up this Sunday. Today is June the 28th. So Sunday, look out. It could erupt. On June 30th, demonstrations are set, which will mark the 1-year anniversary of Islamic President Mohamed Morsi, when he claimed they have the backing of the estimated 15 million Egyptians who want him to resign. Quote, only God knows what will happen on Sunday, says Gamal Abdul Aez, a pro-Morsi car mechanic who is a blue-collar district of Cairo where he works. Building a discontent about a range of social and economic issues, Mohamed Morsi's opponents hope to force an early presidential election. His supporters, meanwhile, have promised they will also take to the streets to defend the Muslim Brotherhood-backed government on Friday ahead of the opposition protest. I'm just wondering if President Obama, are you going to send any troops in there to help him? You've already given Mohamed Morsi $1 billion forgiveness of debt. You've already given Mohamed Morsi $1.2 billion in aid. You've already given Mohamed Morsi the gift that keeps on giving. John F. Kerry, who showed up with a pack of locusts the same day that John Kerry arrived, locusts invaded Egypt. But he also brought $450 million more of U.S. cash. And you've already given Mohamed Morsi 20 F-16 fighter jets and 200 Abrams tanks and a ton of tear gas. Is there anything else you want to give him? Maybe that's not enough to protect him. Folks, what's going on? In an example of how polarized the debate over Egypt's future has become, Aziz and his family became embroiled in a shouting match with nearby residents, neighbor against neighbor. As anti-Mohamed Morsi computer scientist student Mohamed Abdul Mahmoud was trying to do an interview, these two guys started fighting with each other, arguing on an interview being done by NBC. Folks, it's getting ugly, but the Bible said it would. It said that it was going to get, and let me tell you how ugly it's going to get. Let's read on. So you go back to the Bible again. And, Bible prophecy doesn't happen overnight. This prophecy is 3,000 years old, and it never had been fulfilled. Just like Isaiah 17:1, the burden of Damascus. Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city. It shall be a ruinous heap. That's never happened before. It's happening right now. It's in the process. And Jeremiah chapter 49, verses 23 through 27 tells us how it will happen. Now let's see what's going to happen in Egypt, because might as well read it. This will tell you. So, beside the idols moving, besides the fall of Hosea and Mubarak, besides the heart of Egypt melting, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. They shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail. The spirit of Egypt will die in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. Well, that's already been removed. Muhammad Mursi, in his 6th day in office, destroyed the 5 generals that were a governing council. He wiped them out. He just said, "You're dismissed." He destroyed them. They shall seek to the idols in Egypt, to the charmers, to them that have familiar spirits. That's to the god of the dead, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over to the hand of a cruel lord, a fierce king. That's Muhammad Mursi. He shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. And the waters shall fail from the sea. Well, 70% of Egypt's water sources are drying up in the last 7 years. And the rivers shall be wasted and dried up. Now get this. And they shall turn the rivers far away. So right now, Ethiopia is building a new dam called the Renaissance Dam, as Italian contractors are building it. And it will literally turn the river Nile away from Egypt. It will take 80% of the water of the river Nile from Egypt and give it to Ethiopia. What? Muhammad Mursi's declaring he'll fight a war if he has to over that. He said, I don't want to see it happen. But they're building it as we speak. Bible prophecy. And the brooks of defense shall be emptied and dried up. The reeds and the flags shall wither. The paper reeds by the brooks, by the mouth of the brooks, and everything sown by the brooks shall wither, be driven away, be no more. So besides the drought that God is sending in the land of Egypt, and the locusts, and the political turmoil, and the hatred, and the internal fighting, and the drought, Ethiopia is going to block the water. And then you can continue to read, if you want to, about the perverse spirit that will be mingled among the people. Just keep reading Isaiah 19. Watch it come into play. Watch it just fall right in front of your very eyes. I'm going to be talking about this today. I want to thank Blake for sending this to me. I'm also going to talk about Chick-fil-A for their response. The owner can't even tweet. He gets criticized. It's just a lot going on right now. That sword over Nebraska, that meteorite. I mean, there's so much going on. Dead fish washing up in lakes. Russian meteor shower, shockwave circled the globe twice. The Muslim Brotherhood secret meeting in the White House on June 13th that they accidentally slipped and put on their own website and let everybody know. So the White House has confirmed it happened. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And the gay pride thing, and it's sweeping across the country. Oh my goodness. It's really getting ugly, folks. It's really getting ugly. Oh no. And then look at this. 160,000 dead fish. I want to thank Nick of New York. I haven't even got a chance to talk about this yet. Where in Eureka? I mean, look at this. Murray Springs State Fish Hatchery. Murray Springs. Unbelievable amount of dead fish. 160,000 dead fish. What's going on? Oh, my Lord, have mercy. Oh, mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Not Muhammad Mursi. May the Lord have mercy. Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're living in the last days.